The jury finds the defendant guilty on all counts.
No, this can't be happening!
Order in the court.
On a cold October evening, the entire city believed they understood what had happened. They were wrong. The headlines were simple: local teacher arrested for embezzling school funds. His name was Jonathan Reed. For 22 years, Jonathan had been a respected high school teacher. Students admired him. Parents trusted him. Colleagues called him old school honest. Until one morning, police officers walked into his classroom and handcuffed him in front of everyone. The accusation: he had stolen nearly $250,000 from the school's scholarship fund. The media didn't wait for trial. They labeled him greedy, corrupt, fake. Videos of his arrest spread online within hours. His wife, Emily, watched the footage in disbelief. "This isn't possible," she whispered. Jonathan had always been the type to donate part of his own salary to struggling students. Why would he steal from them? But the evidence looked clear. Bank transfers traced to an account under his name, digital signatures, authorization codes. Even the school board released a statement expressing deep disappointment. Jonathan said only one thing during his first court appearance: "I didn't do this." No one listened. The trial moved quickly. Public opinion had already decided. He was found guilty, 5 years in prison. His teaching license permanently revoked. Emily and their son, Noah, moved away quietly to avoid harassment. For 3 years, Jonathan stayed silent inside prison walls, until the letter arrived. It came from someone unexpected. Marcus Hill, a former student. Marcus had once been one of Jonathan's brightest pupils, now a cybersecurity analyst working for a private firm. In the letter, Marcus wrote, "I've been reviewing the case files. Something doesn't add up." Emily contacted him immediately. Marcus had accessed public financial records and court documents. The transactions that supposedly proved Jonathan's guilt were too clean, too perfect. The timestamps were identical down to the second, something nearly impossible in real manual transfers. It looked automated, engineered. Marcus dug deeper. He discovered that the IP addresses used to authorize the transfers weren't coming from Jonathan's home computer. They were routed through the school's internal server, specifically from the administrative office. And then came the real shock. The principal, Robert Langford, had quietly resigned 6 months after the trial. No public explanation. Marcus traced company registrations and found that Langford had invested heavily in a private startup shortly after Jonathan's conviction. The investment amount, almost exactly $250,000. Emily felt her heart stop. Could it be that simple? Marcus wasn't ready to accuse without proof, so he requested access to archived security footage from the school, footage never used in court. After weeks of legal back and forth, he finally obtained it. On the night the final transaction was made, the cameras showed something critical: Langford alone in the administrative office, using Jonathan's logged-in computer account. Jonathan had once shared his password during a school audit months earlier, trusting his superior completely. That trust destroyed him. Marcus compiled everything into a detailed forensic report: digital logs, investment records, video evidence. They presented it to a defense attorney specializing in wrongful convictions. Within months, the case was reopened. The media that once attacked Jonathan now called it a shocking twist. Robert Langford was subpoenaed. At first, he denied everything, but under digital forensic pressure, cracks appeared in his story. Finally, in court, the truth came out: Langford had been drowning in personal debt. He discovered weaknesses in the school's accounting system and saw an opportunity. He framed Jonathan because he knew the community trusted Langford more than anyone. And Jonathan, he was too honest to suspect betrayal. The courtroom went silent when the judge read the final ruling: conviction overturned. Jonathan Reed is innocent. 3 years, 3 stolen years. The city that once shamed him now watched him walk free. But the real story wasn't revenge. It happened weeks later. At a school assembly, Jonathan stood on stage for the first time since his arrest. Students filled the auditorium. Parents watched in silence. He looked older, but stronger. He didn't speak about anger. He didn't attack Langford. Instead, he said, "Truth doesn't disappear. It waits. And when it finally speaks, it changes everything." The room erupted in applause. The school board reinstated his teaching license, a public apology was issued, scholarships were renamed in his honor. But the most powerful moment came when Marcus, the former student, stood beside him. Jonathan smiled and said, "A teacher's real wealth isn't money. It's the students who remember what you taught them." That clip went viral across social media. Millions watched, not because of scandal, but because of redemption, because the real story was revealed at the end, and it changed everything.